Everybody. I hope you guys are doing great. So today I wanted to show you how to complete the application for study permit form, which is also called IMM1294, as all the immigration forms of Canada have a code. In this form, the code is 1294. If you search this form on the internet, it is better always to either get the guide through IRCC's website or former CIC's website, or just type in the form code, because this way you will exactly get the form that you want, because sometimes the names are a little confusing. Okay, so application for study permit made outside Canada. As you can see, this is also another smart form, meaning it needs to be validated. When I hit the validate button here, you see that everything turns into red because the form has not been completed yet. So we reset the form, clear it, and start from here. Number one, UCI. This is Unique Client ID. This code is only for those who have previously applied for any type of immigration visa to Canada's government. You won't have it if you haven't dealt with any type of immigration matter with Canada, so leave it blank. But if you have applied for some other type of visa, visitor visa, or previously worked in Canada, anything, you will have a UCI, which is normally 8 digits. Sometimes it's 12 digit, depending on the type of the application you have started with. Okay, so you either have it, you fill it here, or you just leave it blank. Okay, in case you haven't had any application previously. Next question, you indicate what is the language of your communication. Do you want the immigration to send you letters or communication in English or French? You make your choice. Okay, full name. Full name here means family name comes first as shown on your passport or travel document, then your given name. Family name, given name. Don't get confused. It's not your first name first. It starts with your family name. Next question. Have you ever had or used any other name, like nickname, maiden name? Maiden name is normally a lot of people, when they get married, they change their family name. So this is more of a culture thing. If you had any, you type in here. Yes, you type here. If you didn't have any, you just say no, and this section goes blank. Okay, so let me just put some name here, because in the end of the video I want to press the validate button for you guys. Okay, so let's say Mr. John Smith. Okay, you choose your sex: female, male, unknown, or another gender, X. This is recently added, it wasn't here before. Okay, date of birth, you type your date of birth. 28, place of birth, let's say Sydney, Australia. Citizenship. People generally, their citizenship is the country of their birth. But in some cases, I want to make it interesting. Let's say Mr. John Smith was born in Australia, but he was actually a citizen of UK. So it can happen. For example, you were born in Philippines while your father or mother was on a mission in Philippines, but your citizenship remains British. It happens a lot. So country of residence, This is the country you are residing in while you're making your application. It can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be your country of citizenship necessarily. If it is, then just write wherever you are residing right now. That's the important part. Okay, let's say I am a UK citizen. I was born in Australia, but my citizenship is British. But right now, I am a student in Germany. If you're a student, then you select Germany. But let's say if you're visiting Germany for some time, let's say you're visiting your friend or uncle or someone in Germany for less than 6 months, this is not the place of your residence. Remember, the place of residence is the place you have lived for more than 6 months. But in this case, you are a student, so you should indicate, because a student doesn't matter if you have lived in Germany for even 2 weeks. You need to say that you live in, you study and live in Germany, because right now, this is a long-term plan. You're not visiting. You're not visiting any friend or family member. I hope I explained it well. Next, here basically you need to say from what date you have been studying in Germany. Let's say started last year. Make it simple. 21 to, okay, I'm gonna write today's date, and you will see there will be an error. You see why? Because it shouldn't be today's date. It must be greater than today's date. You can say, depending on the length of the visa, the study permit that you have obtained from Germany, it may be 1 year, 2 years, 6 months. It can be different. But let's say your visa expires in September 28 this year. Okay, so you put that date. You cannot put today's date, okay? Because basically you are telling the officer that, hey, my study started 1st of January 21, and it will be finished by the end of September this year, okay? Next question, previous country of residence. Here, you need to indicate that if in the past, basically you have lived in a country other than your country of citizenship, or your current country of residence, in the past 5 years, if you have lived for more than 6 months, you need to indicate here. If you haven't, you say no, and everything is easy. If you have, then you say yes, and complete everything that is required here. Remember, John Smith is studying in Germany. He's a UK citizen. So UK citizen living in UK, you do not need to say. And it also says your current country of residence. So you do not need to type Germany here neither. It's not required because you have already told them. That's why. Okay, but let's say in the past 5 years, you have been on a project working in Italy from 2019 01 0101 to 2020 0101. I'm just putting easy numbers here for you, okay? Any other country you can add. If there's more than 2 countries here, because there are only 2 rows here, you go back to your submission letter, make it very clear. I actually have to make a video on how to write an effective and strong submission letter. But basically, keep in mind, submission letters always need to be right to the point, either by bullet points or numbers, and addressing all the concerns that the immigration officer has. Do not let anything for them to guess. 99% of the time, it won't work for you, rather against you, okay? So don't leave anything for their guess. Next, country where you are applying. If it is same country that you are residing, let's say in this case Germany, then you will say yes, and don't worry about the answers. But if you are applying from a different country, then you say no. In this case, it doesn't make sense, so I will leave it at yes. Because if you are a student in Germany, then you're residing in a different country, it doesn't really make sense. But it can be possible. It is possible that you are not in the country of your residence. Next question, your marital status. Annulled marriage, common law, divorced, married, separated, single, unknown, widowed. I don't want to go through all these terminologies because it's gonna be long, and you guys are gonna get headaches. So I know that normally people are either divorced, married, single, or widowed. So choose whatever your case is. Okay, this is more important when you're applying for, let's say, for a family sponsorship case. But this case, I just make it simple and say, let's say single. Okay, single is always simple, isn't it? So if you have been married or divorced or anything, you just simply write the date of marriage and the name of the person you are married to. And next section, if you have been married and you have chosen widowed or divorced, then in this case you need to explain. You say, yes, I was married to this individual. Family name, date of birth, type of relationship, common law or married, from this time to this time. Okay, in case you have been married previously or in a common law relationship, basically you need to type here, date of marriage, or in case of common law, date of start of the relationship, because common law relationship is a little different than marriage relationship. Okay, the end of the relationship is basically the day your divorce certificate was issued, and in case of common law, the day you guys just broke up and moved out. Okay. Next is your language of your mother tongue, native language. You can choose each language that is your mother tongue. And are you able to communicate in French, English, or both, or neither? Have you taken a test from designated language? It means like IELTS test, or in case of French, TEF, DELF, TCF, or like CELPIP in English case. There are like many different language proficiency tests. If you have taken, you say yes. If you haven't, you say no. If you have applied for a study permit which is conditioned and bound to pass some English courses in your college or university, then definitely you should say no, because you haven't submitted any language proficiency tests. You don't need to complete any details of your test. As you can see here, either yes or no, nothing changes here. Move on to the passport section, passport information. So basically, Make sure you put your passport number correct, please, because some people make mistakes here. Okay, instead of I, they type 1, and trust me, I've been there, and a lot of trouble happened. Things can go wrong easily in details. Okay, pay attention, please. So, country of issue. So let's say you are from this gentleman, John Smith, is a UK citizen. While he is studying in Germany, his passport is about to expire, and he sends it to the British Embassy in Germany for renewal. And when he gets his passport, because it was issued inside Germany in the British Embassy, by mistake, some people would say Germany. I have seen it, I have experienced it, okay? So don't make that mistake. Your passport was only issued by the British Embassy, okay? By British Embassy, not by Germany, even though it was inside Germany, okay? Date of issue, you just put the date. For this trip, will you use a passport issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Taiwan that includes your personal ID number? Yes or no? It's already blank, disabled. The buttons don't work because you are not a citizen of Taiwan. For this trip, you use a national Israeli passport. It is also blank because you are not a citizen of Israel, okay? If you are, then you would say yes. National ID. Do you have a national ID documentation? If you have, you say yes. If you don't have, you say no. Okay, some countries have separate IDs. I mean, in some countries they have a different national ID. They have the birth certificate serves as national ID, and some countries don't have any. So this is very straightforward. Country of issue, date of issue, expiry date. Even if you don't put any expiry date, the form is not gonna give you any error because a lot of IDs don't have an expiry date. Okay, so you would say just no and get rid of it. Okay, US PR card. If you are a lawful PR holder of US, United States, with a valid alien registration card, also called green card, you say no or yes. If you say yes, then you put the number and expiry date. Simple as that. If you are not, which is this case, you just say no. Contact information. Read these details. Always read them because they may have slight changes. As you can see here, I have explained in previous videos that each form has a date. You see IMM1294 October 2019. Make sure you have the most updated version of the form because some minor changes will have a great impact on your application. And always download the forms from CIC's website, Citizenship and Immigration Canada. The website is still cic.gc.ca, but the name has changed to IRCC, Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada, because the immigration part and the refugee part are now merged and combined. That's why the name has been changed to IRCC, but the website address is still the same as before, CIC. Or in case you are doing an online application, which is most of you guys are doing, I know, just click on the link which is within your My CIC account, and then basically it will take you to the form directly, okay? And about My CIC and how to create on My CIC account and thorough and complete explanation, I have a different video that you can watch. It will be on the top of this video. So if you haven't done so, make sure you do it before you go to any form. Okay, so let's go to the contact information. Basically here what it's asking you to do is to put your mailing address as well as the residential address. If your mailing address is different than your residential, then you will say no and write a different address here. If it's the same, you just say yes, and it will disable this resident address completely. He lives here, okay? And the mailing address is the same. Onto the phone number here, it has the Canada and US option and other countries. So you select other and select the type of the phone, residential, cellular, business, and your country code. Type your country code here, and the phone number. If there's an extension, you put it there. Alternative phone number, fax number, if you have any, you put it here. If you don't have, for some reason, Canada's government still loves fax, but it's really outdated. So anyways, you put your email address here and go to the interesting section. So, okay, this is the details of intended study in Canada. This is where you need to give information about the school, the college or university in which you're planning to study, and you have got the admission. So remember, when you completing this form, it means that you have already uh, basically obtained your admission. Okay, so you will have all the information that is required in this section. School, you have an admission from U of T, and your level of study, you choose one of the options here. So obviously it's not primary school or secondary. You will, let's say, choose master's degree. You've done your bachelor's already and you want to study a master's degree. Your field of study, arts, social sciences, provincially Ontario. The address, this information, all this information, address, the designated learning institution number, as well as student number, also the duration of expected studies, all these are going to be on your admission letter. Okay, so you copy paste everything here just to avoid any mistake or error. The cost of studies will be $14,000 Canadian. If you have booked any like accommodation with your college or university, you will have the exact monthly amount, so you can put it here, or better say yearly, because these fees are annually, okay, tuition fee and everything. And you go to the other section, which will be like books and any other material related to your field of study that you will be basically paying for, okay. So total, for example, 14,000 plus 5,000 plus, let's say, 1,000, okay? You need to look at it as a whole. So $20,000 is going to be your roughly estimation of annual costs, and funds available for your stay would be, it needs to be greater than this number. Okay, so it basically shouldn't be anything lower than this, because then you're putting yourself at risk of refusal because you don't have enough funds to study in Canada. Sometimes students have scholarships, so they have got this scholarship. So in that scholarship, it basically tells you how much you're earning, and that money will be funds available for your study. Okay, your expenses will be paid for by whom? By yourself, your parents, or any other family member. Education. Have you had any post secondary education, including college, apprenticeship, or training, or something like that? For our case, we should say yes, but some cases, no. Which cases? Primary school or high school. Okay, this case is going to be yes. From to field of study, school name, city and country of study. Employment. In our case, Mr. Smith has worked in Italy for about 1 year. Start with your current activity first, which is like a student. In our case, it can be anything else. It can be worker, company name, town, country. Very simple. And again, if you run out of space here, you need to make an appendix and copy paste all the questions and then answer those questions over there. Don't leave anything. If you have like worked, if you have studied, don't leave anything blank. Don't leave anything for the officer to guess. For example, you say I was studying from 2016 to 2018, and from 2019 all of a sudden you start from 2019. Officer would say, hey, wait a minute. What were you doing during this 1 year here? Okay, there's a gap. Background information. You will need to answer some questions regarding your mental health, physical health. You read this section and answer accordingly. Have you remained beyond the validity of your status? Attend school without an authorization or work without an authorization in Canada? If you say yes, that means that you have done something against the law in Canada, which probably will result in another refusal. So before applying for a study permit, you need to address those issues. You need to apply for rehabilitation or authorization to return to Canada, depending on the type of your case. So this is something that I hope nobody says yes to. Otherwise, you don't apply because you're going to get a refusal. Almost 100%. Okay? Have you ever been refused for a study or for a visa permit, denied entry to Canada or any other country? Remember, denied entry Canada, refused, or any other country. Okay? So, you have been refused from a visa to the US, you need to say it here. If they found out, they would say you're concealing the truth and you're not giving us honest information, so your application is refused. Okay? Just say everything truthfully. Have you previously applied to enter and remain in Canada? If you've answered yes, then explain. If you have previously applied for any type of a visa, whether approved or not approved, you have to tell. That's the bottom line, okay? Have you committed, been arrested, been charged, or convicted of any criminal offense in any country? You should say yes if you have done so, and then explain. If you haven't, You say no and move on to the next question, which is military service. Have you been involved in any civil defense, militia, military, or security organization, police force, blah, blah, blah? Yes or no? Are you or have you even been a member of or associated with any political party? If you have, again, say yes. If not, say no. Okay? And read all the questions carefully. I'm just scanning through and going fast forward, but you need to sit down, take your time, and read the questions over and over until you understand fully what it says. Okay? It is asking for your permission to contacted by CIC. Yes or no? It really doesn't matter if you say no. Don't worry. And here you will put your signature if this is a paper-based application. If not, no need to sign, no need to print. If you sign, scan, and upload, the system will give you an error because it will not know the barcode. Okay, I'll show you the barcode. So right now we hit validate at the end of the form. There's this validation button. Okay, you press this, see what happens. Lots of errors. Why? Because I skipped this part. Because here I said yes and I haven't put any information. Remember here in the previous country of residence, we said that John Smith has been working in Italy from 2019 to 2020, about a year, okay? 1 year exactly. He worked in the past in Italy for 1 year. So remember, when you said that, then you need to complete the section that matches the same information, okay? Remember that if you haven't worked at all and you leave this section blank, this form is gonna give you error and it's not gonna get validated, okay? So if you haven't worked at all, even though it says employment, you will go ahead and put your study background. You have been in high school, primary school, university, or anywhere else you have studied. You put those information here. I know it says employment, but it should basically say personal history or employment slash study, something like that. You need to put some information here, otherwise the form is going to give you red warning and it's not going to get validated. Okay, so you hit the validate button. There you go, validated successfully. And now see what happens. We have some codes showing up here. Yeah, so these codes are basically they don't mean anything for you, but they mean a lot for the immigration. If you haven't seen this code, that means something is missing on your form. These are smart forms that they generate this code, which is a sign that your form is complete. If you want to learn more about other forms and how to create a MyCIC account, you can go to my YouTube channel and check the videos over there. Take your time, sit down, relax, and take notes if you want. You can pause or slow down the video at any time. You don't have to go with my pace because sometimes I was slow, sometimes I was too fast. Take your time and be patient with the forms, okay? And if you want to be updated about any other information regarding immigration, you can subscribe to the channel as well. It doesn't hurt, it's free, and you will get notification if you hit the ring bell. So whenever there's a new video, you will be the first to be notified, okay? In the ocean of videos in YouTube, you look for a specific one. This is the way to go. Okay, I'll let you go, and good luck with your study permit application.